Welcome back to the Spoonie and Caregiver Live podcast with me, your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode, shall we? Now, as a Spoonie and a caregiver, I always find it continuously important to improve myself as it helps me keep up with my wife's needs. And I'm her caregiver and I want to ensure that she's well cared for. And I think I'm proud to say that I am doing a good job. But of course, this is per the feedback that I have received from my wife. So I'm not just patting myself on the back on this one. I have the feedback, okay? Now, the reason why I say all of this is because someone sent me a message the other day asking me what makes a good caregiver. Because my wife likes to tell everybody that I treat her well and that I take care of her. So somebody sent me a message. So I got thinking about it, and the only thing I could come up with was working on ourselves. That's pretty much what's going to make us a good caregiver. Almost like when a garden repeatedly grows over and over, you have to water it. So the same thing goes with you as the caregiver. You have to water yourself, like learn new things and improve yourself. Do all those things so you can become a good caregiver. And then after I was looking for this answer for this question, it made me realize that all of the excuses I used to make regarding self-care were lies. Those were all lies, because probably you have said this to yourself, and I have said this as well to myself multiple times, where I was like, I don't have time, I'm too busy, or I don't really need it. And let's be honest right now, I always told myself that I didn't need therapy or that I was just okay. I was like, I don't need it, like, I'm not having any issues or anything like that. Like, how men are, especially, like we don't want to talk about our mental health issues. But I was lying to myself. So because I decided to work on myself, I now look back at where my wife and I started, and I see a lot of progress. And let me share with you real quick what I'm talking about, or why I started working on myself. Now, when me and my wife first got together, we were very closed off. She was closed off, I was very closed off, and why will she trust me when I'm from a completely different culture that she knew nothing about? And same thing with me, I didn't know anything about her. And let's be honest, my English was much more poor back then because I didn't really had that skill yet to be able to communicate. So I had to work on my communication to connect with her, but to do that, and this is the important part, I had to let all the mental garbage that I was carrying go. Like, I had to literally say, like, I don't want to carry this more. I don't want to carry this anymore. This is holding me back. And this is the main reason why I love therapy and why I always say, like, everybody needs a therapist, because at one point or another, we're holding something back. And after I was done with therapy and everything that I've been working on myself, I wasn't holding on to things that didn't help me anymore. So I felt like I could make the rest of the journey on my own. That's when I ended therapy. You don't have to be in therapy for the rest of your life, just until you feel comfortable on your own, being on your own, and being like, oh, I can actually handle the stress now on my own. I can talk myself down the ledge, things like that. Just so you know, because you don't have to be in therapy all your whole life. A lot of people, that's pretty much what therapy will be like, but no. As long as you work on your stuff, whatever you're going through, whatever you need to work on, once you feel comfortable dealing with that, you can stop. You really can. But anyway, so after doing all of this, the mental garbage got lighter and lighter. And thanks to this, which is important, I realized that I was more open with my spoonie, or in this case, my wife. And the best part of all, our relationship got way better. That's very important because we were not as closed off, and I was able to learn to read her body language, which is another important skill for a caregiver, because now I know when she lies about not feeling sick. And it doesn't matter that she's lying. She doesn't want to be a burden, which she's not. So now she knows I know when she needs me. And because of this, and this is another important part of this, now I know when I can relax and take some me time when needed, because now I can read her body language and see if she's actually feeling good, like she's telling me, or not. And if I can figure out that she's actually feeling good, I can go lay down, I can go do my own stuff, I can meditate, I can eat, I can do whatever I need to, and it will let me recharge, because obviously you need to recharge. That's incredibly important. And when you take some me time whenever you need it, it's going to help you become a better caregiver, because you're going to be less stressed. You're going to be able to handle all that stress, and that is vital for you to become a better caregiver, or a good caregiver. Because as the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. So to do this, you need to work on yourself. You need to literally take care of all that mental garbage that we usually carry. You need to let that go, because being a caregiver is extremely stressful, because you literally have to see how each day goes, pretty much. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, the next 10 seconds, the next day. You never know. So if you decide to work on yourself, which means that you have to put yourself first, you have to let a lot of things go. Now, this can be done, but you have to take the first step, which is figuring out what you need to work on. Like, if it's something in your past, if it's getting stronger so you can carry more heavy things instead of your spoonie, like, or if you have to carry your spoonie because he or she can't walk, then obviously you need to get stronger physically. You have to get stronger mentally, because you're going to have to deal with doctors that are not nice. You're going to have to deal with the stares that might actually make you mad. So you're going to have to deal with a lot of things. So that's why you have to become physically and mentally strong. But you need to figure out what you need to work on first. And one thing that is also extremely important in this type of situations is that you're going to need the help of your spoonie as well. Because in my case, the only thing that I did ask from my wife was for her support. So you, as the spoonie listening to this, you need to help in that area until your caregiver can cheer him or herself on their own. That's pretty much what my wife did for me, because I wasn't nice to myself before. I used to put myself down a lot, and my wife and therapy, obviously, and working on myself helped me overcome that. So now, even when I feel down, I can actually cheer myself back on or up, cheer myself back up, and now I have to rely on my wife for that, because she's tired. So now I can actually help her cheer herself back on, which is also extremely important for a spoonie. Now, one thing, like I always say, the journey will be difficult, because this has taken me 4 years to get to this point. So you need to realize that. That's why I like to say this, how long it has taken me, because a lot of people might think like, oh, I can do it in a week. No, this is not something that you're going to be able to achieve in a day, in a week, in a year. It could take longer than that. So you have to be aware of that. Don't expect this to be a short-term goal. This is going to be a long-term goal. But You need to do it for your spoonie, because don't we all want to see them feel better though? That's pretty much the main goal, at least for me. And it should be for you. If it's not, then that's okay. You might have a different goal than mine. But at least that's my goal. And I hope that's a lot of caregivers' goal, to see their spoonie feel and get better. But obviously, in order for them to do that, we have to do our part as well, which is take care of ourselves, so we can actually take care of them in a way where they can actually feel supported. So that's that's pretty much what I got for you guys this week. That was a question that I got the other day, and I think it was a great question. That's why I love you guys' question. So if you guys want to keep sending me you guys' questions, so I can answer them in the podcast or through a post, or even in IM. I do that sometimes. You guys can send them to me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and also on the email, which is the Spoonie and Caregiver Life at gmail.com. But that's pretty much it for today. I really, really, really appreciate you guys' feedback, your guys' questions. Thanks to you, we are growing. I really, really appreciate you guys' support, which is very important. Thanks to, like I said, thanks to you, we are growing. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And obviously, don't forget to share. That way we can grow even more, and people that need help or that feels alone and unsupported can get the support that they need, at least from our community. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And again, if you want to send me your question or share your story, you can send it to me on social media. Or you can email it to me at the Spoonie and Caregiver Life at gmail.com. And I'll leave you like always. Always take care of yourself and have a great day.